Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
You know, I mostly get your basic dorks around here. They seem to gravitate toward me. I don't know why.
This is episode 207, recorded May 18th, 2022.
Gruesome Magazine.
I resemble that remark.
So I remember he was doing this and I wanted to do it and I'm like, what am I doing? I was like, I can't do that.
I'm a little teacup.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so dumb.
I am
Sorry.
your host, Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, Bill Mulligan, Chad Hunt, Crystal Cleveland, and I will tackle another classic, or not so classic, film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. On this podcast, we start off with a few details and give our first impressions, and then we kind of take off talking about whatever we feel like talking about when it comes to the film we've picked. But first, let me introduce my compadres. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl, and co-host of not Decades of Horror, but Gruesome Magazine podcast.
Well, co-host of
another
this Decades
fineness.
of Horror, but you're just happen to be here. I mean, it's fine. It's good. What's
Also
up,
co-host
guys?
on Gruesome Magazine podcast. Crystal, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm actually really excited about this one.
And
This one's awesome.
I should have warned you ahead of time, but that would go against our policy of least possible organization. We need to know what you think of Life Force.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Life Force. It's like my favorite psychic vampire movie ever. Life Force is hilarious,
Yeah.
and it's mean, it's
The whole
just good
episode,
stuff.
we were like, I wish I knew what Crystal thought about this.
How could you would know I like Life?
I wish they
Yeah,
just
but
focused
we
a little
wanted
bit
to-
on it.
And it's so ridiculous. And then
Wow.
what she, those guys are all so stupid. I mean,
Jeff just did a Liberace joke by way of Bugs Bunny.
wait, what was
There's
it?
like 4 people in the world who got it, and I'm one of them. So,
Oh.
yeah.
All I'm noticing is Jeff's tan. He looks like a super tan.
That's just my complexion.
Just nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one time, shortly after I was born, my mother's walking me in the baby carriage down the street, and some woman walked over and looked at him and said, "Oh, look how dark he is. What nationality is he?"
Well.
Oh.
Latvian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from
Ernest
Mind Your
Gilfred.
Own Business stand. How's that, you old biddy? Jesus.
Good times. No.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book arts goes of Decades of Horror, the classic era, and Decades of Horror, the 1970s. Chad, how are you?
Super freaking awesome.
Yay. Yay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Super freaking awesome.
I am.
Yay.
My mother told me I was.
She told you were special, and you
She
believed
did.
her.
She did. My mother never lies ever.
Nope.
And last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, and co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s, and all-around nice guy. Bill.
Hey,
Yay. Yep.
getting
Even
ready
on the
for summer.
sides?
Yeah, I got a couple of weeks of school left, and then
School's out for summer.
school's
I
out
got
for
a
summer.
granddaughter graduating this Sunday and a grandson
Oh, awesome.
graduating in like 2 weeks
That's
From high school?
wonderful.
from high school. Yep.
Nice.
You have to ask that now because now they have graduations from kindergarten and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
graduations from
they-
elementary.
all the way
and-
through.
Yeah.
The lies we tell ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Spoiler alert. I just love giving spoilers.
We're going to spoil the crap out of this movie.
Like
Oh yeah.
14, 22, 36 years old movie. So our topic tonight is, if I can find the card, Vamp.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Released in 1986. Directed by Richard Wenk. Written by Richard Wenk. With the story by Donald P. Borchers and Richard Wenk. And Donald P. Borchers is the Producer.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff. It's just,
Yeah, I
it's
forgot. We
yeah.
have Beavis and Butthead today. The cast includes Grace Jones, Chris Makepeace, Dee Dee Pfeiffer, Robert Russler, Geddy Watanabe, and Sandy Barron. Production
All
company
under the
is
direction
New
of
World.
Richard Wenk.
Under Richard Wenk, yes. Production company is New World Pictures in association with Balcor Film Investors. It was filmed in a bajillion different locations in Los Angeles. January 28th to February 27th, 1986. It was then released on July 18th, 1986. Budget estimated at $3.3 million. Box office almost $5 million.
That's awesome.
In this movie is about two fraternity pledges who travel to a sleazy bar in search of a stripper for their college friends, unaware it is occupied by vampires.
Hey,
And
wait,
that
that's the From Dusk Till Dawn. It's the same story.
Yep. But this was before, so
That's true. I don't know how they
And
did
that
it.
picture is the incredible presence of Grace Jones in this movie,
Yeah.
and she commands the screen every time she's on it. It's
And was hopefully not paid by the line.
No.
mhm.
oh yeah.
Well, that's true because she's rather speechless in this movie.
Yeah, did she
She
talk
should
at
have
all?
been able to say something
Nope.
because she has an
Didn't
awesome
say
voice.
a damn
Yeah.
thing. And for
She
the life
kinda
of me, that
growled
seems like a lost opportunity.
Hisses.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
my cats do that.
next up on our impressive schedule agenda are taglines by Chad.
Taglines
Taglines by Chad. Actually,
We've got we need to make a musical thing. Taglines by Chad.
Yep.
I'll hire someone if there's some jingle folks out there. Just send us, something good.
I think we could come up with something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, it would.
He's like, yeah, I like it. Yeah, we got to do that. Definitely. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your taglines for this week's movie, Vamp, are as follows.
Yeah, and see,
Well,
then
they're
with
good.
that, yes, see. Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first tagline is a frightening comedy.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That sounded like Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it did. It kind of did. Yeah.
Night.
That made that
Yeah,
tagline
that's what I
sound way
was
better than it
thinking, too.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first kiss is the deepest.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. Mm.
Well,
Deep
what's
in the
real-
neck. Because they were digging some necks out in this movie.
Yeah.
The first,
Look at
the first hit is the deepest.
The first kiss.
that. Kiss is the
First
deepest.
kiss. I know that's what this is, but is that the actual line? The same.
First
Oh.
cut is the deepest.
First cut is the deepest. That's
is
it.
the deepest, yeah.
They should have
According
used
to
that one
Cheryl
for Vampire's
Crow,
Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Sort of.
Okay. The next tagline was written by Andy Rooney. Have you ever had one of those nights?
Yeah.
That's just silly.
Terrible.
Okay. The first kiss could be your last.
I thought it was the deepest. Make up your mind.
Yeah.
Either
Whatever.
one. The
We don't
deepest
know.
kiss could be your last kiss.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And your
fine.
first kiss as well. So
Yeah.
anyway, those are your taglines for the movie Vamp.
That was it. Not super inspired.
Wow.
No.
Yep. That was them. That was them. Let's take a look at a few of the posters here, which,
I don't like it at all.
Well-
I don't. It's not a good poster, but it sure reminds me of some of those great old Grindhouse posters that they
It
used to
does.
have out there.
But you can't. It's too much. You can't read it at all. I mean,
No.
there's so much on it.
And her red lips look like she's doing, an evil clown, which she'd be great at, but that's not the movie.
I should have
It's
pulled
just-
these
it's too
taglines
busy.
for
That's really what it is for me. It's
for
too
Chad.
busy.
Oh, what's this one?
The fantastically funny bloody ride you can really get your teeth into. Actually, that's not too bad.
Nah.
That's not too bad. I mean, at least
Fantastic.
it makes sense.
There's actually several other ones on there. but-
Did they hire Forey Ackerman for that? The fantastically funny. Okay.
Spending
And is
time
that-
with Grace Jones and her friends. Wow.
Oh, that's scary.
Is this like one of those Dolph Lundgren orgies that they had or something?
Oh. You know,
Did I miss
there's a lot of
something?
stuff like
when I
that
saw
that I
about that?
have never read about, and I'm not sure I want to know.
That's
but, yeah.
way more terrifying than anything in this movie.
This is the poster I remember seeing.
Yeah, me too.
That's
well,
pretty good.
There's another version.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah,
It looks like it's
fucking
it's a Broadway production. That last one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bam. But Tony Award winner. But none of these are really showing off the big selling point, which is 1,000% Grace Jones.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to first impressions, and this one is Crystal's pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the deal here, Crystal?
So, to be honest with you,
By the way,
all
this
our-
is much better than what we predicted you would pick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, good. I'm glad I didn't disappoint. I'm kind of sad. Maybe I will make sure that I disappoint next time.
You never disappoint.
Just kidding. But okay, so I remember watching this as a kid, and honestly, all I remembered from that time is Grace Jones, because I am a huge Grace Jones fan. She's amazing. She's just freaking amazing, and I just remember all I remember is her and that statue. Like, that's all I really remembered. And it's a vampire movie, and vampires were always my favorite. So watching this, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but watching this again, oh my gosh. I had such a good time with this. I mean, I know I didn't get most of these jokes when I was younger. And so I was there, and I'm just laughing. I really enjoyed it as an adult. I probably enjoyed it even more because I feel like Grace Jones with the statue is just amazing. Like, she's a piece of art. She's amazing. She just looks amazing. The way she moves, her body. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. But this is just a stereotypical, like, 80s freaking boys trying to go out and see naked girls and getting into trouble. It's just such a stereotypical movie, and I dug it, and I enjoyed it. And really, honestly, it's pretty simple, and there's such a small cast. I love Billy Drago, by the way. He's another one who I'm a huge fan of. Unfortunately, he's no longer around, which is too bad because he plays such a great character actor.
Yeah.
But I mean, the scene with where she flips him off after she dies. I mean, come on. It's just it's so that reminds me of like some Evil Dead kind of thing. Like, I just think this movie is still wonderful, and I still love it. And I think, there's enough gore. I mean, it's mainly about the guys and what's happening there, but there is some gore, like where she rips into his neck. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty gory, a little violent. I think, and when she transforms, they did the more evil, type vampires, which I appreciate. I need to add this to my rotation because it's definitely, I need to watch it more often because it's been so long that I was like, I forgot so much about this. And every time I was like laughing. And Long Duck Dong, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
That dude is amazing. He's amazing. So yeah, I could watch this again right now. So I hope our listeners enjoy this movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it, totally you got to see it.
Yeah.
It's on Tubi for free.
Yep. Tubi's really
All righty.
Awesome.
Back to Mr. Hunt again. What
But
did you think of this film?
Well. No, I'm just kidding. I rented this when it first came out on VHS, I believe, and I really like this. I really like this movie. I love Robert Russler. from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and a couple other things he's been in, and he's a funny dude. Chris Makepeace from a couple of things. I think My Bodyguard he was in.
Oh, yeah.
And Grace Jones. Love me some Grace Jones, especially the first time I ever saw her act was in Conan the Destroyer, and she played such a badass in that film that I was a fan of hers. And vampires, you have vampires in there. At the time I watched it, I didn't think it was all that funny. I kept forgetting it was a comedy. It seemed a little more silly and forced. The comedy did, but when I watched it the other day, I was like, yeah, this is silly 80s stuff right here that we're watching. But it was good. I liked it. They didn't just go with beautiful women with fangs. They went all out and made them these ugly bat creatures, and especially Grace Jones, she was just purely evil looking by the end of the film. And it also had more endings than I could count. At the end. So, but yeah, I like this movie a lot. I've always liked it, and there's not much to criticize if you love old cheesy 80s movies like this. So, I'm sure we'll find something though.
The music would be the weakest point for me. Yeah, that's just the weakest part.
Bill Mulligan, how about you? When did you first see this?
I first saw this a couple days ago.
Oh,
wow.
I know.
Wow.
It's funny. The more I think about it, I realize I have not really seen that many Grace Jones movies. I never disliked her. I always thought she was an amazing physical presence, but I wasn't into her music. And the only movie I really recall seeing her in was Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was getting tired of the Roger Moore James Bond. I think he was getting tired too by that point. And she disappears in that movie. If I recall, she's there and she's really cool, and then she's gone. I thought they missed. And this is the thing with Grace Jones. Except for Conan the Destroyer, which I did not like as a movie because I love Conan so much, and I really thought this one, the second one, was such a drop down in quality. Has everything I would normally love. Conan, Andre the Giant, all kinds of good stuff, but it just didn't work. But I don't think people knew what to do with her. She was so unique, such a presence and everything. So they put her in a James Bond movie as a henchman or something, but then she gets killed off or disappears. I can't remember what. This one, they have her in there. She doesn't say a word. Don't know why. I don't know. Everyone knew that.
Boomerang. She was really funny in Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love me some Grace Jones. Okay.
She just kind of got caught up in that whole. She was famous for being famous. She was on the cover of lots of things. She was at Studio 51. She was dating Dolph Lundgren, and we were all wondering what would their children look like, and how long would it take before they took over the world. One of those things that just blazes hot, but they never really found the niche for her. I think she was a real talent. I think she shows talent in this very underwritten role. She's just got such a presence that comes out here. I like the vampires. They're very Nosferatu-ish with their nasty little front fangs there. And there was a lot of ideas in this that don't really get expanded on much. The vampire gangs, the idea that vampires kind of run things behind the scenes and you don't know who to trust. Don't tell the police they're on the take too. That's kind of cool. But just not. There's not a real narrative thrust here. The things just sort of happen, and I didn't get the sense of urgency that you normally would with this kind of thing. It's an odd little film, very 80s, very 80s. The comedy, the comedy's kind of hit or miss, like Chad says, a little lame. I mean, when I think of something like Night of the Comet, I think it had a much better touch of balancing out. The horror here is good when it's there, and they're not afraid to kill off characters. I don't know. I feel like it's one rewrite away from being really good. But take all that aside, the dance, the thing that Crystal remembered, that dance is iconic. It's great. It belongs on every mixtape you ever do. If, like me, you used to make mix videotapes with music and video to it. And it's this mythical strip clubs. I've not been to a lot of strip clubs in my life. I make no judgments, just not my thing. I've been taken to a few, but
Tell them about it, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait till my turn.
Okay.
Where are these strip clubs that you see in Flashdance and Vamp, where the women are gorgeous, have an incredibly good lighting, super choreographed, expression, and the patrons are all into it? Like, yeah, that was beautiful. That was like some Twyla Tharp stuff there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe I just went to the wrong ones. But there wasn't any art going on there. But still, who cares? Cool. Strobe lights, the makeup, everything about it was very, very cool. That thing, that the torso, which I guess was based on Dolph.
Oh,
Dolph
was it?
Lundgren.
The
Yeah,
chair
that's
that
what I
she
heard.
sat in, yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
funny.
Very cool. So, yeah, it's worth watching. If you like 80s stuff, and if you don't like 80s stuff, why are you listening to this podcast? So if you're listening to this podcast, you definitely should check Vamp out, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm with you guys. I thought usually with dances like that, I don't know, things like that in horror movies, I'm like going, come on, let's get on with it. But when that was over, I'm like, oh no,
That's so cool.
there should be more. She was just an amazing command of her body and look, and I don't know, I that was a great look for her, and she really, I think, makes the movie along with the special effects. I thought the makeup was great.
Yeah, me too.
And you guys, Bill's always talking about, we'll get that later, but Bill and Chad are always talking about how vampires need to look scuzzy. They shouldn't look
Scary.
debonair like George Hamilton.
Yeah. Right.
But these guys, they anyway,
They don't brush their teeth.
No.
Yeah, that was
No,
hilarious.
and
See, that
those
was
teeth,
so
yeah.
funny. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Now you guys, I'll do this now so we can get it out of the way. The music, now you can't blame. I don't know who does closed captions and stuff, but I'm watching it on Tubi with closed captions going, and when it breaks out with Valari at the beginning, it says Dean Martin singing Valari. That wasn't Dean Martin.
No, it was not.
That was Bobby Rydell. It's even in the credits, so they couldn't even have bothered to look and see, but it definitely wasn't Dean Martin. And the other thing that hit me is I'm kind of a fan of Louis Prima and Keely Smith, and if you haven't ever watched them, look them up on YouTube, because they do duets that are like, he's just hopping around and making jokes and funny faces and stuff and just acting weird while he's singing the song. And she's entirely, completely deadpan, and then, gives him looks like, what's wrong with you kind of thing. Anyway, they did that Old Black Magic, and that was immediately recognizable as them. So other than that, that's the only music I really noticed. But I enjoyed it, and the humor is sort of like, put yourself back at college age kind of humor, where people were making cracks, but I kind of got into it after a while. I mean, right off the bat, he does that thing where they're at the frat and they're doing the hazing thing where they're supposed to stand up there with the nooses on, and Robert Russell's character AJ says, "I don't know about you, but I don't want to listen to that again." And then "I don't know about you, but I don't want to listen to that again." At first I thought, well, did they have an editing problem or something? And then I realized, he was trying to be funny by saying it twice.
Yeah.
So that
A little
immediately
lame.
gave me the tone, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
Do you ever notice in these movies that the frat always, unless it's Animal House, the frats never seem like anything you'd want to be a part of?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, not fun at all.
Well, they're movies.
Almost every one.
Yeah.
I think these were written by people who did not get into a fraternity, so there's a little bitterness there.
Yeah, that's a definite probability. All right. So we've all mentioned Grace Jones. Let's take a look at this,
Oh,
and that's here she is with Keith Haring, who did the
Oh
artwork.
wow, Keith Haring.
Awesome.
Oh, if people don't know, because I know he died a while ago, but Keith Haring was huge in the '80s with this graffiti style that kind of hard to describe, but simplistic but complicated at the same time. Yes, that makes perfect sense that it would be him.
I thought that's what it looked like actually, because
I didn't realize it was actually him though. That's pretty great.
Yeah, I guess apparently he was a friend of hers, and he died very young from AIDS.
Yeah,
but yeah.
That's it's wild because I saw it and I was like, it reminds me of, because there's this rug company that has some rugs based on his designs, and I was like, it reminds me of that, and it was him. That's amazing.
Well, how come no one ever cosplays as this character? Crystal.
She's full
you got
on
the red
naked.
hair.
She's
there's
full
that.
on naked.
Well,
I mean, like,
yeah, but that's easily
staying out of this one.
Like,
so the thing I thought was
swirlies,
was,
like, I mean,
Dragon Con's coming up. I'm just saying.
I love it though. It's
this would keep
amazing.
you pretty
How much
cool
did
in
they do
the
with those
August
spirals. They got the spirals on her arms and her crotch and on her breast, but then they do all kinds of weird things with that. There's like stuff hanging on her arms, and I don't know. They do little
spirals are cool.
Yeah, I love it.
They're hypnotic. I can't take my eyes off them for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, and her face and her lipstick and her, the lipstick and the hair around the face just really.
Yeah. It was an awesome look for her. It was.
Oh God, and it's. I said she looks like a piece of art, and she. Now I know. I can't believe he.
And not easy to pull off, because most people with that kind of white face makeup would look like a freaking clown.
Ridiculous. I know. And she looks scary. She looks spoopy. Like she pulls it off really well. She looks strong with it. She doesn't look like a clown. She looks strong.
She commands. Like she could walk down the street with that makeup on, and
no one would say a word.
Say boo. Too terrified.
At that time, at that time of the in 1980s, she could have done.
I mean, she doesn't do any talking, but the other people in the nightclub do all the talking for her. They're talking up a storm, hoping that she doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
So in a way, her lack of speech does work. It's just you just
maybe
feel
it was
like
just a choice. I think it was just a choice.
Which it's kind of a shame too, because her voice is like very commanding.
We don't know though. We don't know if, since she didn't have a line, if she was cheaper. And you got to think, maybe they had her in as much as they could afford.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in a lot of makeup.
According to the info on the movie, that was her choice or her suggestion that she not have any lines.
Oh, well then if that's what Grace Jones wants, that's what I'm going to give Grace Jones.
You hear this. You hear this from Christopher Lee too. He didn't want Dracula to speak. And in a lot of the good ones, he barely does. And some of them he doesn't at all. It does, once a character opens his mouth and starts saying, I am evil incarnate. It's like, yeah, whatever. Whereas if they keep their mouth shut, it's like, I don't know, this guy might be evil incarnate.
Well, what might be more successful, I think she's very smart. I think it might be the right choice, because this is a comedy. And I think that she could have come off as super cheesy if she had some cheesy lines, you know, like I think it.
Right.
I mean, she can play comedy, don't get me wrong, but I think with the way that she's presenting herself, it might have just been silly. She might have been.
She was a lot more menacing without the words.
Yeah.
Check out that headpiece, though. I mean, none of this looks comfortable.
That's something out of a Jack Kirby Fantastic Four.
It is. If they were made out of like glowing light or something. I mean, none of this is comfortable looking. That's what I was. As the crotch circles are.
Okay,
that's what I was talking about.
I don't
with the
think Grace Jones wears
does with that
comfortable. Stuff. I don't think she wears anything comfortable. I think every time you see her in movies, she has these she's so fabulous. I'm sorry. I just think there's something about her, and she can pull this stupid shit off and look amazing.
And it's a funny thing watching these movies, watching her. I always got the feeling she was very tall. Statuesque would be a word I would use to describe her, but she's actually fairly short.
What?
I that didn't really occur to me in Conan the Destroyer because she's acting with Andre the Giant, Wilt Chamberlain, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone's going to look short.
Mhm.
But there was a review, I think it was Roger Ebert's review, said that when he met her at Cannes or something, name dropping bastard, that he was surprised at how small she was because she has such a presence on the screen.
Yeah, I thought she was like 5'11".
Yeah, some people are like that. You know, you meet Danny Trejo and you're thinking this guy's a lot shorter than I thought, but you don't say it because he could still kill you. Look at him.
I almost stepped
not-
on him at a
he's a sweet
convention.
guy. Oh, stop that. He's a sweet guy though, but,
He's awesome.
but on the screen you see him on Con Air. It's like that's the scariest looking guy who ever broke out of jail. He's like just 6 feet of pent up fury. Nah.
Yeah, well, I just for example, I pulled up this piece of Keith Haring art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Simple, but you can't do it.
And
try
there's
to imitate
it's
it,
not
and
all
like crap.
It's not all
Yeah.
two-tone. There's a lot of very colorful stuff too. So
That's a
let's
real
see, we
talent when
have-
you can do something that looks simple and childlike, but is actually very complex and hard to duplicate. Look at those chompers there! Wow.
yeah,
I think
very-
I'd have actually went ahead and let her bite that girl in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was an
Gave me time
interesting
to get
scene.
away.
Yeah.
That was one of those scenes where I was like, kind of like going, what are they? Either one of them waiting for?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
See, you know that's
anyway.
the thing that bothers me in movies. Whenever you have two characters pointing guns at each other, or any equivalent, and they're just like, "Well, what do we do now?" And I'd be like, "Okay, I'll tell you what. On the count of 3, we're going to put our guns down. 1, and then I shoot them."
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And they're always saying, "Well, when you shoot him, he'll shoot back." I don't think so. I think bullets travel really fast, and by the time he realizes, "Hey, that son of a bitch shot on 1, he's dead."
Or you just shoot again.
Yeah.
Just keep shooting. Something's gonna hit eventually.
I don't think he's going to hit me, even if he does squeeze a trigger. He's probably in a bad state of mind, being as I just shot him in the face.
Yep.
So yeah, FYI, if we're in any kind of Mexican standoff, it's not going to last long because I'm just going to.
So we also have Chris Makepeace, who
Green Arrow.
was kind of hot there. Oh, is he in Green Arrow?
No,
No,
I'm
he
just saying there.
looks like
He's
Green
green
Arrow.
and he's pulling an
he
arrow.
does
so-
look like Green Arrow. I'm sorry. Darr.
No, it was a stupid
We're
comment. I should
dorks.
just
We're all
ignored it.
hanging out.
Crystal
I like
attracts
lighting.
dorks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember him in My Bodyguard. I love that movie.
Mhm.
When I
I
saw
remember
it, I,
some other things.
Meatballs,
I just
too.
can't remember.
Oh, Meatball.
Yeah.
Mazes
He's a little
and
more mature
Monsters,
looking in this one than he was in those.
Falcon and the
movies.
Snowman.
he's likable.
Mm-hmm.
You think at first that AJ, the other guy, is going to be the lead though, because he's more of a dominant personality. But I guess they felt this guy was more relatable to the audience.
So yeah, he does a good job of
He acquits
playing
himself.
that. He's the sane one of the two buddies. You know,
Yeah,
AJ is the guy who's going to do anything. Now, Dee Dee Pfeiffer
Dee Dee.
is Allison, aka Amaretto, I guess.
Yeah, Moretto.
You know, so for a movie where like 2/3 of it takes place in a strip joint,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there's not the actual stripping was not. I don't know how to explain it. It didn't seem gratuitous to me. I mean, it felt
Well,
like
because
Yeah.
they were putting on shows. I've never
Right.
like Bill said, these performances were not what you would
Not an
typically
actual
see
strip club.
because they'd come out with these like even
Strip
the
club
other
for the artsy
even the
crowd,
other
yeah.
girls were not just
well,
One
they
of them
had
was a
the,
bodybuilder.
They had the announcer, but
And Dee Dee, meanwhile, the waitress here, she looks so innocent, like she would only drink 2% milk because she's afraid the regular stuff would just be too strong for her. I mean, it seems very unlikely. I thought the actress was fine. I didn't really get a handle on the character. Like, what's her story? Why is she there?
Yeah. Why could nobody remember who she was?
Well, the
I
AJ
kept thinking there
Oh,
was,
from
AJ.
fifth grade. I'm
That's true,
sorry.
that's
I
true.
mean,
I kept thinking there was
Yeah.
a payoff for that we were going to get. That
We
Well-
didn't get it.
Well, AJ said, I thought it was a payoff. AJ's like, hey, Allison.
yeah,
That was hilarious to me. See, like for me,
Oh,
I
indeed.
that's all it took. He was
Yeah.
like, at the end, where after he, stabbed, then he's
Yeah.
like, hey, Allison. It's like, she's like, I bet AJ will remember me. And the joke is he
Yeah.
didn't remember her that
Yeah,
whole time. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever, lady. I don't know ya. And then yet his best friend, hey. It's
Yeah.
very simple. It's just a simple joke. Super
it's a simple joke.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. At least they
Yeah.
saw through to the end.
Yeah. I know y'all probably wanted more, but there wasn't more.
I'm like, you don't remember
She
her?
had
She was
a-
the girl who was a werewolf. See, I'm always trying to put werewolves into movies. If there's any way we can slip them in.
she had a part on the sitcom Sybil in the mid '90s. Was
Sybil
in
Shepherd?
42 episodes of that. Yeah.
Oh.
And then just recently, she's been in. Well, this is weird. I hate it when there's shows I've never even heard of. For Your Love, 85 episodes.
For your
Whoa.
love.
Damn.
How do I miss
That's a
these? It must
lot.
have been like a cable
No,
thing or
it-
something.
Yeah, I mean that's the way things are now. They're like, this show just got canceled after 7 seasons. Never heard of it.
Yeah, I know.
You had a good run without
So that
me
was
helping.
98 to 2002, but right now she's on Big Sky. I don't know if anybody watched that. It's a
Mm.
sort of a thriller mystery thing, and there's two female, just to shorten it up, there's two female detectives, and then there's a woman that kind of runs the office and is keeps everybody on track and everything. That's Dee Dee Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Related to Michelle, maybe?
Oh. Well, she could.
I didn't look.
Maybe, but
She's got that
They
silent.
kind of look. They
Either.
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, they could be.
Younger sister of Michelle Pfeiffer. Well, there
Ah,
you go.
Okay.
Good call,
That's
Chad.
good to know. Yep.
I should have looked that
One
up, but I
bit more.
just kind of went, nah, that's two of two.
Yeah, it's crazy talk from Chad.
Well, is there any other talk that you get from me?
Waka waka.
Keep talking. Crazy. He's crazy. Just go for it. Yeah, I liked her, and I'm glad to know that she's done other things because I'm going to watch. I think we watched. I don't know. It's one of those series that you watch it and you're kind of hooked in to watch it from episode to episode, but then you're thinking, well, this is dumb. But I might have to check it out again just to check
Big
her
Sky.
out. Yeah, so Dee Dee Pfeiffer, and I think she does a great job playing this sort of naive young woman that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
in the strip joint, and I bet you.
The kind of happy-go-lucky young lady you find working at a strip joint.
Yeah.
Loving life.
No clue.
Not getting at all that it's a place full of vampires. I don't know. Was that her first night?
Yeah.
It almost had to be, right?
Yeah, it would almost have to be, right?
She seemed comfortable there, so
But hey,
Yeah,
she didn't have any problem with ramming a pipe through Grace Jones' chest or ribs or whatever that was at the end.
Yeah.
All right. What about Robert Russell?
I like Robert Russler.
yeah, me too.
yeah. He was good. Like I said, I kind of felt bad when he apparently was gone for good because they're like, oh, well,
I'm glad that they brought him back.
Yeah. right. And as a good vampire for once, I mean, he's legit. He has the hunger and everything, but he doesn't want to kill his friends. I mean, that's an interesting take.
One of the things that I remember him most from is Weird Science.
Yes.
Yes.
Brady was it?
Yeah.
That, well, no, that was
I
from
don't know.
Nightmare. Nightmare.
Yeah, no.
His name was
He
Brady.
was it him and George Clooney or something?
Robert Downey.
Oh, Robert
Jr.,
Downey Jr.
yeah.
That's it. Okay, yeah.
And they were like babies too. They were like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then when they put the bras on their head, oh god,
Yeah.
that was a riot. Okay, sorry. Yeah, totally distracting.
Now,
But yeah.
now the vampires are a little inconsistent here in that sometimes they're the usual superpowered creatures that can throw you across a room and through a wall, and then he takes out Billy
Grace
Drago.
Jones. Oh well, what about
Well,
him
you know.
just even being able to push Grace Jones off at all when she's
Yeah.
about to? I was like, that's weird, but maybe she's just
Well,
toying with them.
She's
Billy
playing.
Drago's
She's
not a
she's like
vampire.
that.
I could have sworn he
Oh.
was at the beginning when they first ran across him in the
Yeah.
diner or whatever they were in.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like-
See, I totally misinterpreted that.
Because when he's walking down the street and all the vampires out there, and he's like, "What
He
gang
goes, "What
is
gang
this?"
is
They're
this?"
like
And
the
then they
gang
tell
of
him.
albinos, basically.
Something you don't see much anymore, but yeah, back in the 80s, albino was like synonymous with evil, which I'm
Well-
sure made albinos feel good about themselves.
Speaking of genetics and skin coloring,
Yeah, so he did. You guys already mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street 2. That's what I think of him the most from. But yeah, Weird Science.
Max,
What did
that
I
was his
see?
name in Weird Science.
Max.
He did like a year on Babylon 5.
oh, oh, it's been so long since I've seen that though too.
as one of the characters, and I don't know, he's still out there. Guests on a lot of TV. Oh, he did a segment in Tales of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that 10-part anthology about
Yeah.
five or 6 years ago. So anyway, yeah. Oh, Jacob's Wife. I missed him there. I'm gonna have to rewatch Jacob's Wife.
Oh yeah, he was good. He was good in that. Barbara.
Okay, and he does good playing that character. I mean,
Yeah, he did. The ill-fated AJ.
Yep.
and then
Kind
at
of
the end,
ill-fated.
we think he's dead. He got stabbed with the leg of a chair or table or something.
For Micah.
Doesn't work.
Go figure. Go
Somebody had to kill Vlad.
figure. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Gotta be
Yeah.
wood or iron if you listen to Jerry Chandler. Got on my case. Got all in my case because I'm like, yeah, as we all know, vampires die from iron. They pulled that out of their butt. He's like, actually, and he gives me the whole history of iron being a
Actually.
classic killer of vampires. Like, yeah, whatever.
Well, he's
He's
done
right.
a ton of research on
What's
legendary mythology.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
trust me,
if you ask him which turns on the cold water, which one turns on the hot, he couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Because I think he did.
I'm just picking on Jerry. That's all I'm doing.
Well, he's not here, so this is the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll hear
Yeah,
something
so
about it.
I've always liked Billy Drago too. So
Oh,
What a face.
so cool.
What a face.
I know.
plays Snow.
In the
And I
That's a face that would make you
Untouchables,
play
yeah.
heavies. Yeah. Oh, he was great. in the
Is that
Untouchables.
bottom picture from Masters of Horror?
I
don't
thought that was
know.
from Untouchables, the bottom.
Oh, it probably is. It probably is.
I thought it was, but I'm not sure.
I
Yeah,
think you're
he's,
right.
Look.
Not likely to
He
ever
played-
play a romantic leading man, but if you need a heavy, if you need a hitman, you need a mob guy, maybe not the boss, but second in command, the cruel one who'll make sure the dead get. Yeah, he's good. He's just got that look.
He always played
Well-
those kind of characters, but everything I've read or heard about, he's the sweetest man
I would
Yeah.
to
imagine.
walk the earth. Yeah.
Well, that's so typical in horror movies that some of the
Mhm.
sweetest people, played some of the nastiest characters. I mean, who was a nicer person than Peter Cushing or Sid Haig or any of these folks?
Michael
you know?
Berryman. Yeah.
Michael Berryman. I mean, geez, yeah. Maybe there's something about being a good person that really lets you, when you play an evil one, cut loose.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that stuff you hold in. Try to be
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
He was in what I think was one of the most memorable episodes of Masters of Horror, directed by Takashi Miike.
Yes.
Imprint.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was-
Imprint.
yeah, it was.
Actually, I was just starting to watch Masters of Horror again. I didn't make it that far, but. I was
And
watching
he
it.
also had a recurring role in Briscoe County Jr. Adventures
Ah.
of Briscoe County Juniors.
That's what I need
That's
to go rewatch. I love Briscoe County.
Yeah, I should look for.
It's on Tubi. I think it's on Tubi.
Hey,
Okay.
And Tubi's just firing on all
Awesome.
cylinders these days.
It is, and
Yeah.
and just for people who, if they haven't, well, it's a free service with ads, and
you don't even have to sign up if you don't want.
I wrote,
Yeah.
I wrote them down because I wanted to know how many ads I was watching, and it was like 12 minutes of ads for an hour and a half movie. So
Yeah.
Not terrible.
nothing compared to what you would get on
Yeah. Netflix.
regular
Yeah.
television.
And they
Sorry,
make an
that was my
effort to
dig
have
at
the
Netflix.
ads. Yeah, they make an effort to make the ads in logical places because my wife watches some true crime shows and they will just cut off a person in mid sentence
Mm-hmm.
to go to the ads. It's infuriating.
Yeah. A lot
Well,
of them do that, but Tubi's like watching old time TV.
Yeah.
There was it's like they know when to put the commercial breaks. Yeah.
Well, you're right, and they're only it's usually no more than 2 minutes or maybe two and a half at a time instead of 5 minutes like you get on network television sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, at the beginning they go down to this cafe because they went by the strip joint they were going to go to, Makepeace and Rustler, and it's not open until after dark. So they go into this cafe, and the guy looks up at the clock, and apparently it's getting dark. And they say something about, "Oh, it's probably dark." Yeah, but is it after dark?
After
And they have
dark.
this-
Yeah, it's funny. It's so
they have the,
funny.
how, is it late enough to be after dark, or is it still just dark? Anyway, as the cafe owner is going to close up, Billy Drago and his crew come in, and you just assume they're vampires because
Yep.
he's all white,
Right.
and they act, nasty.
And one of them's a
And-
vampire. Right?
No, she
Well-
just has really bad teeth.
Yeah, her teeth are just messed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why
I
he
was
was
not.
That's why
Oh.
he was like, ooh, and she was offended.
Oh, okay. Wow, boy, I misread that scene.
I did too the first time I saw it because I was. Then later on, when it's nighttime, and then they have the battle with them. Well, first off, Rustler and Makepeace, beat them all up and escape. They're not all that good at what they're being bullies. So
No,
then
they're not.
later, when they show up, when all the vampires are out in the street, that he looks at him really weird, like, "What gang is this?" He says, and I'm going,
The little girl
"Oh,
flies
wow,
on
Taken out
the
by the
ground.
little girl.
vampire." Okay, yeah, the little girl. Wow, she was awesome. I
Yeah.
love the idea of that character, how she leaps up at him. And here's some of the vampires. Yeah, we got some teeth.
And
Great
eyes.
vampire makeup, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
It really
good. They're
was.
very animalistic, very.
Usually,
I'd hate to
in
be wearing those
women vampire movies, they don't put any makeup on them. They'll stick fangs and maybe
Right,
contact lenses and
Yep.
At the very beginning of the change, the teeth would come out, the two teeth like normal vampires, but then they would soon change to like this picture in the top and the one in the bottom where they're like they got teeth coming out
I got some prosthetics there.
all over the place. Yeah, they're not necessarily in rows either.
Mhm.
I thought they were great.
they're like shark teeth, rows behind rows.
So I don't know if you guys know that much about it. I was trying to look some of this stuff up because there's so many different people listed. In the opening credits, it says Greg Cannom, Cannom, is the special makeup effects, and
I think he worked on Lost Boys too.
Oh,
Okay.
this
That makes sense. Yeah.
this does have a Lost Boy look. I didn't make that connection, but you're absolutely right.
he won Oscars for Mrs. Doubtfire, and what was the Brad Pitt, Benjamin Button, Strange
wow.
Case, or I forget the whole title of the movie, but
Right.
so yeah, that really extreme, total redoing of the person's makeup. So yeah, and so I mean, I'm looking at it and going, this is pretty incredible makeup. So kind of wanted to check out who it was. And I don't know much about stuntmen, but or stunt people, but the stunt coordinator was Dar Robinson, and probably the only person I know, except for Yakima Canute back in the old days. Wasn't he? Who was the guy that did directed like Smokey and the Bandit or
Hal Needham?
Hal Needham? Yeah, wasn't he buddies with Hal Needham?
If he was a stunt man, he probably
was.
I'm making all this stuff up. So yeah, I thought that makeup was incredible.
Agreed.
Yeah, it looked nice.
Yes.
So you
I
guys
didn't like the contacts too.
So
yeah.
did you catch?
I would hate to wear them because they look like the ones that cover your whole eye.
Sclera, yeah.
Scleral.
Ouch.
In that scene where they killed Grace Jones, did you catch the crewman?
What?
Oh,
Oh my
hand.
gosh,
There's a hand.
no!
Oh, that's
I
funny.
didn't. That's hilarious. I did not see that.
I was too busy
Yeah.
focusing on the finger. Didn't
Yeah,
see the
me
hand.
too.
His other, just before that, his other hand is in there, like pulling the, whatever the cable actuator probably that makes it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's even more awesome is that they had a picture of it.
I didn't even notice it.
No, me neither.
I didn't
Can't see the hand for the fingers.
I read about it, but I wasn't paying attention. And then when it happened, I went, "Oh my God, was that his hand just there?" And then I wasn't. Let's see here. Anything else we need to talk about here? Kind of interesting that they're, at the end, Allison and Keith are walking down the street, and as the city comes to life, I guess, and AJ says, "I'll be right below you." He's following along underground, like, I don't know. They're only going to take streets that have sewers right directly under them. I guess maybe they all do. I don't know.
Neon lit sewers, the pink and purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's purty though.
Everything's pretty there. Strip
Not
joints
a
are
rat in
pretty. The
sight.
sewers are pretty. Yeah.
This really was a fun film to watch.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
I like the callback to Renfield, the guy eating the roaches. It's disgusting.
Oh, that guy.
yeah.
You know where I remember him from? Seinfeld.
Yeah, I meant to talk about him. Yeah.
You want
Go ahead.
take the car? Take the car. He was George Costanza's parents' neighbor.
Yeah.
And he gave
Oh,
Jerry
okay.
the Cadillac or whatever. Jerry really liked the Cadillac. You want take the car? Take the car.
See, I remember him from the 60s and 70s. I think in the 60s, but in the 70s because he was one of those Borscht Belt comedians that was always on the talk shows. That's what I remember from. But and then he also got parts in sitcoms.
He was a good character though. He
Yeah.
gave you that feeling of he's tired of this and
Right.
he wanted to go to Vegas before any of this happened, and then
He was pretty funny, I thought.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As his hands burning, here's to Vegas, Vlad.
If I was you, I'd punish her. Or
Yeah.
wait, maybe I'll leave now,
Yeah.
or something like that. He's all Grace has to do is look at him, and he's like, "Yeah, you didn't ask for my opinion." That was a good scene too. There's
Yeah.
I like the arrow through the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then so I thought it was kind of funny too that they were obviously trying to misdirect with Allison to make us think she was a vampire.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of
right,
funny.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
never did quite catch when their buddy Duncan, Getty Watanabe, when he.
Mm-hmm.
He just seemed drunk the whole time, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
bam, on a vampire. Well, the plot
Yeah,
called
so-
for it.
Apparently, they bit him when he was when they were out running around.
Oh, it
Okay.
kind of makes sense though. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a kind of a good one, and I didn't notice this either. I kind of want to go back and listen to it, but according to this information, at the opening of the movie when the frat's doing this weird hazing thing where they have the one guy is lip syncing a speech from a cassette tape. That's
Yeah.
supposed to be Christopher Plummer's voice.
Oh,
Hmm.
boy, he
That's
shows up
weird.
in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
He heard Grace Jones was going to be in it.
Yeah, probably.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think we have anything more to say about this since I'm just kind of along here.
No, it was good.
Watch it.
It was a good pick. Yeah,
On
Yeah.
TV, worth it.
Good. Glad y'all
Grace
like it.
Jones is
Yay.
force of nature in this movie.
Yeah, she is.
She does a great job.
I recommend.
All right.
Yep.
We do have some feedback.
Looks like got a lot of
And We
feedback.
have a ton of feedback, so we'll just kind of see what we get through here. Let's start with Dreamscape. Chad, you see the feedback there?
Yeah, I see it.
First one's from Dallas Nostromo.
Episode 202, Dreamscape. Dallas Nostromo writes, I played a drinking game while listening to this podcast. Every time someone said Quaid, I took a shot. I'd tell you how that played out, but honestly, I can't remember. Drunk ass.
Now I'm like,
Yeah.
we did say it a lot.
Yeah.
And because, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Got all messed up here.
All right. Thanks, Dallas. We also have one from Chad White. Anybody?
Sure, I'll do that one. Awesome show. I thought that the snake guy was so awesome when I was young. It's kind of funny watching it back now. Yeah, agreed. Looking forward to the next show. Good, Chad. And I secretly listen to you all's podcast at work. Thanks for helping the day go by a little easier. Well, I'm glad you can watch us at work
Awesome.
or listen.
Ooh,
Listen.
secretly.
Listen.
Mm.
It's a super secret squirrel club. Mm-hmm.
I hope you're not
It
doing
is.
anything important like an air traffic controller. I mean,
Or atomic power plant
You
yeah.
never know.
right next to Homer Simpson there.
Mm.
All right. Next one's from
Oh,
Jerry Chandler. Jerry goes on a bit here.
Yeah. Hey, I'll read it fast. For Crystal and anyone else, if it ain't illegal, never ever feel the need to justify to anyone liking or enjoying something. He's not
Oh,
wrong.
be quiet. Jerry.
Agreed,
Except
Jerry.
for maybe MILFs versus zombies or the films of Ooey Ball. But outside of that, nothing else needs to be justified to anyone else.
Yeah,
As for
Yui Bowl
Dreamscape,
is-
Yeah. It's a crazy fun film stacked with amazing talent. Sure, the FX work shows its age, but that's true of just about any film over a certain age, and especially true when you really seem like you're pushing the FX past the budget limitations you have. You just accept them for what they are, the same way you would if you were watching the first Godzilla film. But for me and my friends back then, it felt like a crazy, different film that was fun and kind of cool. It also stood out in a good way because it felt a little different. We didn't really have a lot of films that played around in dreams like this one. Remember, we didn't even have Nightmare on Elm Street yet because this beat Nightmare to the theater by a few months. Maybe nostalgia makes it seem better to some of us than it might actually be, but it's still a film I recommend to people to check out. Improv theater, never again unless you get about a year's worth of improv lessons from Michael Williams, or just have him come in and replace Bill and Chad for that segment. Fine. Well, hey, look, we gave it a shot.
He's welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's true.
Welcome.
Michael would be great. Yeah. Oh, God.
Bill, good job reading Fast Jerry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Very
the
good
only way you
job.
can get it in under an hour.
Yeah.
It'll be like an auctioneer.
All right. This one's from Mike Zatz on 199 from Beyond. Anybody who wants this one?
It's
Chad, I guess
Chad's
we're back
turn.
around to you.
My turn? Okay. Barbara Crampton's, Mike Satz writes, Barbara Crampton's final maniacally demented cackling is one of those images that will be forever etched in one's memory. Also, that leather outfit she wears as she bumps and grinds on Jeff Combs' helpless body. Ooh, boy.
Helpless body.
Oh, he was so helpless.
I don't know
Oh.
why that's so funny. Helpless body. Jeffrey Combs is anything but helpless. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's something.
All right. So now let's see. Episode 205, Halloween 2. Crystal.
Okay, Renee St. Alban. Someone brings up cryptids and I come running. Yeah, girl, yeah. I liked Halloween 2 more after giving it a few watches and comparing it with the others. You know, I might need to do that too, Renee. Halloween 6 was my least favorite. Jeff, did you end up ranking them? I'm curious to hear what your rankings were. Do you want to answer? Okay, I'll finish it and then you can answer that. I totally watched the Loch Ness Horror and it was awful and glorious.
Yeah.
I really love the Goofy monster. I would pay good money for that prop. Yes.
Oh, you took one
I'm
for the
gonna
team,
cry.
Renee.
You guys are the best. I'm really enjoying the longer episodes too. Yay! Thank you, Renee. And Jeff, are you gonna answer her? Did you end up ranking them?
You know, I don't know. If I ranked them, not counting the new ones or the Rob Zombie 2, obviously the first one's best, and I'd probably say the second one maybe next.
You just can put them in order.
No. Halloween 3 might be next. Actually, I am kind of putting them in order.
Yeah, that's why I knew that was coming. That's why I was like, yeah.
I am. I'm going to put them in order. And I'd probably jump to like H20. After that. And then back to 4 and 5. 6 is, I just think 6 is ridiculous.
I think a lot of people agree with her. Yeah, on that.
I forget the first one. Who's in that? I forget his name now.
Paul
Ant-Man. Yeah. So, yeah, he's good, but this goofy cult with these weird costumes is just...
Yeah, it went nowhere.
Anyway, so yeah, that's where I'm going. And Halloween Resurrection is okay. It's just kind of out there.
Yep.
Okay,
Whenever you
Bill.
start trying to explain Michael, that's where you screw up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let it
I was
be.
going to rewatch the Rob Zombie ones, but I haven't found time yet. There might be a reason for that. I don't know. All right. Also on Halloween 2, Mike Zatz says, the last time I saw this was 1981 when it was released in theaters. When you watch this back to back with the 1978 original, you get a good 1-2 punch. Some complain about the brother-sister tie-in, predating Return of the Jedi by 2 years. I think it makes logical sense in terms of Michael's being a supernatural being, pure evil, mentioned in the first film, wanting to eliminate the one that got away, as she did in the 1978 original. It wouldn't matter any sibling relation.
Agreed.
It's not as atmospheric, suspenseful, or unique as Halloween 78, but still a lot of fun. Halloween 4 through to Resurrection did not interest me, nor the Rob Zombie films. I don't need origin stories for this type of genre film. Great podcast. Nudie Mags giveaways on Halloween to young Chad.
Yeah.
Get the DeLorean ready.
Yeah.
Why? I still have all of them.
Yeah, Mike. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it, Mike? Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's that. And then we have another.
Oh, okay. I get it. See, Bill's reading all Jerry.
Bill.
And this is weird.
This one's pretty fast.
That's a comment on Halloween 2, but
goes into
talks
Life
more
Force.
about Life Force.
Well, listen, if you ever talk to Jerry for more than 5 minutes, Life Force and a few other movies like Godzilla versus Megalon,
Loch Ness Horror.
Loch Ness Horror comes up. Yeah. Okay, Jerry Chandler, Halloween 2. Yeah, good, okay, fun, etc. Life Force, OMG, the single greatest drug trip of a sci-fi vampire movie ever made. It's like, I'm going to mangle this again, Catermass in the pit on acid. I just wish they finished some of the scenes that were reportedly cut out of the shoot, because you can notice where the story jumps a beat here and there. It might not have helped a lot since it's as crazy as it is, but damn, what could have been. For the Trouble twins, Quatermass.
Yes.
Quatermass. Quatermass?
Yes.
Quatermass.
They call it Quatermass.
But he spells it quite. See, Jerry, here's the problem. You're saying, here, I'm going to make it simple.
I thought it was
Q-U-A-T. Is Q-U-A-T quat or quate? I don't know.
Maybe it is quate, but it seems quat. It seems like quat.
Quatermass sounds Quatermass.
Quatermass.
I think
Quatermass.
so.
Quatermass.
Oh, we're going to argue
Quatermass.
this to the end of time.
Quatermass.
I've been
We're
told
giving Jerry
100
way too
times
much.
There's-
sure it is.
Let's keep it moving.
a quartermass is 25% of the blob. Well, okay, fair enough.
I'll go with that. I like that. Quatermass. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not lying.
All right. And Fraser. This is one I haven't seen before, so yay.
Yeah, that's nice.
Who
What
wants
a
to read
long-time
Fraser?
Oh,
yeah.
God, I like the way this person devour of your shows.
Is this
Go ahead, Crystal.
Oh no, I was sorry. I think I just stole it from you, Chad. I'm sorry, I was reading.
No.
Okay. Hi, Grue-Crew. I love this. I'm a longtime devourer of your shows and horror movies in general. I don't know why that line. Sorry, I don't know who this person is. Okay, I was thrilled when I saw that Halloween 2 is on deck. This one holds a special place in my heart as being one of my first horror movies. Oh, that's awesome. And it continues to be my archetype of a scary and effective slasher with a satisfying ending. This person has to be a writer. I mean, come on. What the
Yeah.
who takes
Pretty well written.
Yeah, your commentary is spot on, especially when comparing it to a Pantheon level classic. See, what? Who
This guy's
is
British.
This
He's British.
Who is
Spot on gives it away.
Pantheon level classic like
Yeah.
Carpenter's Halloween. And it's nice to remember how 1981 had such a murderer's row of classics. True.
Oh yeah, we talked about the rankings or the box
Yep.
office for like the top.
I'd like to add one flourish that I found effective, and that was the use of the security cam footage to show Michael's movements around the hospital. A nice Rosenthal technique that probably informed a lot of future directors. Keep up the good work, Fraser.
Damn,
thank
Fraser.
you,
I am looking
Fraser.
forward to your first book on
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
great
really
comment.
well written.
Yeah, you're
Well,
like
this-
a class
this one-
act. You're
Yeah. Too
Yeah.
classy for us.
Classing up the joint around here.
Let's go back to Jerry Chandler. Oh, and
All right,
sure
all right.
enough, there he is.
Speaking of,
Hey, I think we're going to get all of them in here. So
Yeah.
All right.
How
the last
Ooh,
one
Jerry
is
Chandler.
on.
Episode
Howling
203, Howling 2.
Yep.
From Jerry Chandler. He writes, the next movie is Howling 2. Your sister's a werewolf. The movie that tried to get you to forget any of the film's rough patches before you left the theater by turning the end credits, a music video featuring Sybil Danning removing her top more times in 4 minutes. Is there punctuation in your life, Jerry? 4 minutes than she did in any 4 years of her film work, because they totally weren't trying everything they could to wring every last cent they could get out of the horny male teen audience at the video game rental stores. There were probably rental VHS copies of that film where the credits became unwatchable because of how worn thin the tape had become.
Yikes.
Probably. Not a bad movie overall.
What?
sorry.
Did he really say
Yeah,
that?
what? Not a bad movie overall.
It's not a bad movie overall because Jerry has taste, guys.
Oh, he's
You
got
have-
taste.
Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah.
taste. All right.
Yeah.
Taste.
Some kind of taste. Just one of those weird sequels from that era, like the film you jokingly referenced in this episode, Chud Tube Bud the Chud,
Also not a good movie.
that just feels like an odd fit with the movie that preceded it. Looking forward to the chat about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks to everybody.
Thanks,
Jerry,
Jerry.
Michael,
Fraser. Renee.
Renee. It's good to hear from Renee again.
Mike.
Fraser. And
Everybody.
And Chad.
Mikey
Oh, yeah.
Z.
Chad White.
Sorry, I had to do that. I don't know why. I was embarrassed.
All righty. I believe we are caught up on 80s stuff. So we need comments.
Yes,
Add comments to the Gruesome Magazine YouTube page, or you can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or go to our Facebook group, Gruesome Magazine's HNRDOH Podcast Facebook group.
Word.
You know what?
What?
That's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by Chad. What are we watching next, Chad?
Uh-oh.
We're going to watch 1988's Evil Dead Trap.
Oh, good. Okay.
Mm.
Is that like Evil Dead 3?
No.
No. Actually, this is early J horror, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Influential.
All right. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Comment.
Or else.
Alert.
Please. Please.
No, please. Or else.
Or
Or
else.
we'll have Chad
Mister.
read more taglines.
Oh no.
And you don't want that.
Nope.
I
I
don't even want that. So.
All right. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s, as only decades of horror can do it. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.